Collin has had some great rounds while at Cal and his young PGA Tour career as well, but this one, how good was this today?
Really good. I didn't feel like I hit my driver that well, but other than that, I think long irons, I hit a lot of 4 and 5 irons, and I just hit some close. I didn't make too many putts, but I made the ones that I needed to for birdie when I had some chances.
What were the biggest challenges for you out there that you were able to overcome?
Just a lot of crosswinds out here. I think last week at Kapalua helped a lot, just kind of prepare for distances, feel with the wind and everything. So, I think last week just fully got me ready for this week, and I was glad, I had a good finish last week. We got a few more days here.
Obviously, two totally different golf courses, and the Plantation course and here at Waialae. How does the wind affect this golf course compared to Kapalua?
I mean, the fairways are half the width of Kapalua, and you got to hit fairways. And I don't think I did a great job today doing that. Got some lucky breaks where I was in the rough, but the next few days I got to hit a few more fairways, and we'll be good from there.
Finally, it seems like kind of a bit of a home game for you. Your grandparents on your dad's side were born in Maui. You got aunts and uncles and cousins, you said, around the area as well. How many are coming out to support you?
I have no clue. Probably a good handful. Around a dozen maybe. But yeah, no, it's just relaxing to be here. And anytime you're able to play around family, it just makes everything a little more comfortable. You're able to just focus in on golf. I love the food out here, so it's a little plus to that. And yeah, see how everything goes.
Congratulations on the day.
Thank you.
He's never missed a cut as a professional. As a matter of fact, when you start to try to find when the last time he missed a cut, you have to go back to 2016. I mean, he's played sporadically on the PGA Tour as an amateur, but he has the second longest cut streak on the PGA Tour, and he's been out there for not even a half a year. So you start to think about, my goodness, how talented these players was. Victor Hovland never did shoot over, he was almost never shot in the 70s last year. And now you got Collin Morikawa. But when you start to look a little deeper at the talents of all these individuals, this fella has the talent to perhaps go on and be the best of the bunch. Fabulous iron player, as we saw today. Almost every single really difficult iron shot, like at 11, at 15, on 4, when he was back into the wind, even his last at the 9th. What did he do?
Well, he just hit a quality iron shot. He was able to flight it properly. And you could hear when he was talking to Todd Lewis, and he understands it's going to be tough to drive the ball. If you think you're going to go out there and hit 10 fairways with the conditions like that, you're only fooling yourself, because it's almost impossible, especially with the way that the holes turn and you're facing those crosswinds all the time. But you could just hear the maturity in his voice. Now, he's a kid that played 4 years of college. I mean, he didn't come out early, but you can just see that maturation and just how calm he is. And leading this golf tournament, if it happens after this first round, it's a big deal, but he understands that it's a long process. And the way that he strikes the ball and you hit on it, the irons, I love the way that he plays. He plays with a little bit of a bowed wrist like that once he transitions, and he can flight it down. And I think it's going to be very important, because 40-mile-per-hour gusts, you catch a gust, you can go way offline.
Yeah, I bet he feels happy to be in the clubhouse on that 65 number. A very mature head on those 22-year-old shoulders.
There's some of the most difficult conditions we've had out here for years and years for me. It blew, it gusted a lot, and it was tough to judge the distances, but I kept the ball low, kept it in play, and I think I hit a fair few greens, which was my goal today.
That was hard work out there. This I don't recall in a long time. Funny, I was looking at last year's book, and first hole, the most I had to the front of a green was like 135 yards all week. I had about 170 today, and it was straight downwind. It's amazing how different. Last year was just firm, fast, the ball was rolling a ton. This year, it's crazy windy, but really soft.
Unfortunately, not exactly what you're looking for after a week like last week. Just trying to find something where you can. It's easy to get it in play and get on the green, but man, it was a grind, which is what last week was. So it was really hard for me to stay focused, and felt like I didn't do a good job of that at the start. But then I played pretty well the last 13 or so holes.
Thankfully, the greens are soft. I think that's why the scores are still decent. If they were firm, I think you'd see a completely different scoreboard. But yeah, it was challenging, gusty at times, and the rain in and out was tough too.
It's fun to kind of curve shots around here, and it's the right course for a lot of wind, I think. So and the fact that it's soft really helps now too. I know in the past it's been really firm. It probably would be kind of unplayable with this type of wind, but I think we've got a fun championship in front of us.
It's interesting because we heard Collin Morikawa speaking after his round how much it helped him play in Kapalua last week, getting used to those conditions. It was windy there, not quite as windy as it was in Honolulu today. But then we have a Justin Thomas saying it was exhausting trying to stay focused as the wind just continued. Are these some of the hardest conditions you play in as a professional?
Well, generally speaking, this is a pretty easy golf course. It's dance floor flat, and the greens are beautiful, so it's hard to miss a putt. Some of the best putting takes place there every year. So you put those two together, and, well, last year the entire field averaged 68 and change. Today, the entire field averaged 72 and change. So, yeah, nothing drives up scores like wind, and it's not often that you play in winds that are this strong on holes that have this many cross winds and dog legs.
Yeah, and when you have a heavy wind like this, what you try to avoid is trying to be too fancy. Try to do what you're not capable of doing. You know, try to hold the ball into the wind. The wind was too strong today. You could not hold shots into the wind. Typically, you'll see guys hold it up against a left to right or right to left wind and try to work the ball into the hole location. That was not available today.
Well, will it let up over the weekend? That's the question. Let's find out. Let's check in with the weather forecast. Unfortunately, it is still going to blow, and rain will also become a factor. You can see the wind remains pretty high tomorrow. It will decrease slightly through Saturday and Sunday, but the showers come in also. Saturday looking a little wetter than Sunday, with 70% chance of rain on what is expected to be moving day.